What if I told you that the secret to unlocking your full fitness potential has to do with one muscle? And that one muscle that I'm talking about is the muscle in between your ears, which is your mind. So if you're someone who's ever struggled with pushing through a tough workout or staying consistent overall, this video is gonna be for you. Today, we're gonna be talking about the benefits of mental toughness and how that is going to transform your fitness journey. So when it comes to mental toughness, there's gonna be three key things that you need to focus on to build that mental toughness. And stick around for number three, because number three is by far my favorite of them all. So the first one is going to be self-discipline over motivation. Now, the reason why this is so important is because motivation essentially is a feeling. You can feel motivated for a day, for a week, for a month. But when that feeling is gone, now what do you resort to? Just because you're motivated, does that mean that you now stick to your plan more consistently? On the flip side, the reason why self-discipline needs to overrule your motivation is because discipline is essentially duty. And if you have a duty to do something, you're more likely to show up for it regardless of how you feel. So motivation, although it's great to have, it really is a fleeting feeling, because I could watch a motivational video, listen to a motivational podcast, and go out and absolutely crush my workout that I have set for the day. But let's say the next day I try to do the same exact thing. I try to listen to a motivational podcast or watch a motivational video, and I don't feel like going through the workout, although I just watched something motivational. Well, that's the feeling. And that's when I say that discipline has to override that, because if you're disciplined, regardless of how you feel, you will show up and you will get things done. What that you can do to allow yourself to execute more on self-discipline is to create a workout schedule and to stick to it, and making sure that it is a non-negotiable. So regardless of how you feel, regardless of how much you slept, regardless of what you ate the day before, you're going to show up because you are disciplined on what you need to do and you have goals that you're trying to get to. And the reason why relying on motivation leads to inconsistency is because I can be motivated for a week. I can be motivated for a month, but that motivation at some point will subside. And when that motivation subsides, if I don't have any other driving force that's going to allow me to continue to go, which is discipline, mentally, I'm not allowing myself to get any stronger, because I'm gonna have to push through mental battles in order to show up in discomfort through discipline that I have. So when you have self-discipline, it's going to ensure progress over time, and this alone is going to strengthen the mental toughness that you have. The second thing is going to be building resilience by challenging yourself. So a way that you can develop mental toughness is by challenging yourself. And what I mean by that is doing an extra rep, doing an extra set, running for longer, holding your plank for longer. Always want to be gradually increasing the difficulty and intensity of your workouts. If you can gradually do this, you're going to see that you're challenging yourself. When you challenge yourself, you're putting yourself through a mental battle that says, I have to push harder than what I'm used to pushing in order to succeed, in order to get the result that I'm trying to get to. And that alone is going to make you stronger within your mind, which is going to breed the results that you want and that you're trying to create. So one thing that you can do is set small, achievable goals that are going to stretch your current capabilities. And I don't mean outstretch your current capabilities. I mean stretch your current capabilities. And these can be small, but if you do not do things that are going to stretch your capabilities, how will you know that you're up for a challenge? How will you put your mind to a test? Because essentially you're doing things that you're comfortable with doing, right? And really, change takes place outside of the comfort zone, which we're about to get into, but change takes place outside of your comfort zone. So if you're always staying in your comfort zone, you're gonna stay comfortable. So therefore your mind doesn't change. Your mind doesn't get tougher. Your mind is like, okay, I'm very comfortable with where I'm at and I'm gonna stay right here. Rather than being like, hey, today, instead of running 1 mile, I'm gonna run 2 miles. And instead of running it at this pace, I'm gonna run it at this pace. You're mentally telling yourself that I know that I can do this. I've done it before, but now I'm gonna push and I'm gonna try to do something that I've never done before. And the last thing I'll say about challenging yourself is what it also does is prevents burnout. And no one wants to be working out and to be burnt out. But if you're always challenging yourself, you're gonna prevent burnout, but you're also going to build confidence within yourself. And when you build confidence within yourself, you're mentally telling yourself that I can do this and I can do more the next time that I show up. The third thing, which is the most important thing, my favorite thing when it comes to mental toughness, is you are learning to push through physical discomfort. I'll put it to you like this: mental toughness in fitness has everything to do with you pushing through your physical discomfort. So this could be muscle fatigue, this could be your breathing extremely heavy, this could be your mind telling you to quit through a tough workout. With all those things that I just named, if you can find something within you to push past those physical discomforting barriers and you can push into another stratosphere, now you're getting mentally tough. The reason why I said it is because usually our mind is telling us to stop. Our body can normally keep going. That's the one thing that we don't understand. Our body can keep going. Ask yourself, how many times have you been on a run, in a workout, and your mind has been like, man, this is getting tough. But knowing that you're capable of doing it, you just stop, right? But also think about the times in your workouts that you've mentally pushed through, if you have done this in the past, where you mentally pushed through, and how much better you felt with that, because you mentally allowed yourself to get tough in that moment and push past the barriers within your mind. Your mind is going to be something that's going to limit you. It's going to extremely limit you because your mind searches for homeostasis. Your mind searches for comfort. The more that you push your body outside of that comfort and homeostasis, your mind is forced to find a new comfort level, to find a new threshold, which is something that I've talked about in the past. And I'll put it to you like this: every single one of us has a pain threshold, right? So some people might have a higher threshold because of the years and years of health and fitness that they've been in. Some people might have a lower threshold because their lack thereof fitness that they've been in, which is fine. So what I want you to think about is you take your threshold, and your threshold could be a certain weight, it could be a certain amount of reps, it could be how fast you run for a certain period of time, whatever it is, you have a threshold. Now, the reason why pushing through physical discomfort is so important is because when you have a threshold and you understand what that threshold is, now all you're doing is you're trying to exceed that threshold, because essentially that threshold is that physical discomfort. It is your mind telling you, I gotta stop. It is your brain saying, no, not right now. So what you need to do instead is to think about continuing to push past that and to create a brand new threshold. Once you create a brand new threshold within that physical discomfort, then you can create another one and another one and another one. And before you know it, a year goes by, 2 years go by, and you don't even recognize the person that you were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, because of the amount of discomfort that you put yourself through and the amount of times you came out on top. And now your confidence level is through the roof because you know that in the past I've done this before. I pushed past these mental barriers. I pushed past these physical barriers. All I have to do is do it again. So the reason why this one is so important is because if you can push past physical discomfort mentally and allow your body to go through it physically and say, you know what, no matter how I'm gonna feel, I'm not gonna quit. I'm gonna finish every single rep. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go another rep and I'm gonna go another set. You're creating new thresholds, and this is going to be extremely, extremely important when it comes to building mental toughness for your fitness. I want you to remember something. This is not something that happens overnight. This is something that is going to take practice. So do not get discouraged when you're trying to find new thresholds and you're trying to create that mental toughness. But you need to do these three things. So you need to have self-discipline over motivation. You need to focus on building resilience and challenging yourself. And the last thing is you need to learn to push through physical discomfort. If you do those three things consistently over time, I promise you, you'll blink in 6 months and your mentality will be extremely different from where it is now. And now you will have a much stronger mentality when it comes to health and fitness, which will lead to you hitting your goals more consistently. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and we will chat next time.